My loves, you know those moments when we are spiraling, our thoughts are very fear based and lack. We're fortune telling, we are worrying about the future. We're creating a Netflix series in our head about worst case scenario. And we can all relate to that. So, in this video, I want to share with you what's actually going on and ways in which you can nourish yourself when you're in those moments of spiraling. I'm Dominique, your nervous system led coach. Subscribe to my channel for more wisdom on building a relationship with your body and bringing your body out of survival mode. So, this video is inspired from a client call that I just had who has been working on herself, working on her nervous system. And at the start of the call, she said, I just feel like I'm going backwards. And what had happened was she was experiencing really low energy, found out that she had low iron, and she started shaming herself for that. Should have known better. I've been nourishing my body. Why is it not getting better? Went straight into that negative spiral and judged herself for having low iron. And then she judged herself further and shamed herself further for not being loving and compassionate with herself. And this spiral continued. And when we started talking about it, and she said, look, I feel like I've gone backwards. And I said, well, how did you interact with it? She said, well, I made sure I had a sleep. I made sure I looked after myself. And I said, you experienced those thoughts, but look at the actions that you took. You nourished yourself and listened to what your body needs. And that is a representation of the relationship that you've built with your body. And she kind of paused and was like, oh, yeah, I have. And I said, those thoughts that you are having are just a symptom of your nervous system being dysregulated. And that you're not broken. And I think when we have attachments to when we're having emotions that we find challenging, and I don't like to use negative or good emotions because emotions are just emotions, but I think when we are in those challenging emotions, especially when you're doing work on yourself, you start to judge having those emotions, and you start questioning why you're having those emotions, and when am I going to have all my shit together, and I shouldn't be feeling like this with all the work that I've done on myself. And if we zoom out and look at what's actually happening and neutralize it, the only reason we're feeling that is what makes that experience more intense is that we're having a story around that we should never feel like that. It's the meaning that we have around the feeling rather than actually feeling what you need to feel and knowing that it's going to pass. And when we're in that dysregulated state, because we're all humans and we're never going to have a nervous system that is completely regulated all the time. What we're needing in these moments is to acknowledge, okay, those thoughts are feeding my body. I'm feeling dysregulated. What's going to nourish me? And I do find this in the space where people are working on themselves and releasing trauma, is they get to a point where they're working on their frequency and they're feeling good, and any energy that doesn't feel all happy and all those good emotions, they start to try and distance themselves from those emotions and start to feel like, okay, they should only be in a good frequency, because they're starting to experience a frequency where they feel more calm and more regulated. So when the opposite comes in and they've got uncomfortable feelings and emotions, they're like, no, I can't feel them, and try and block that out. And there's a lot of resistance that happens. And then that creates more of their uncomfortable feeling because we're resisting it. And something that has helped me so much is acknowledging whether I'm having a challenging emotion or whether I am feeling bliss and joy and I'm on the dance floor and I'm just feeling so vibrant. I'm not attached to either. And this takes some practice, and I'm not always, sometimes those intense emotions can get me, but I know that each state is going to pass, and just allow my body to feel what it needs to feel. And a really beautiful example, that client I said at the start, she had a moment a week and a half later, after feeling those challenging emotions. And she said she felt so much joy and bliss in her body that she just wanted to move and dance around the house. And I said to her, I said, do you see that the two polarity, those two emotions, like you felt completely different a week later, and that you can experience both and hold yourself through both of them. And you can, when you're in that bliss and joy, and just enjoy it for what it is. Whereas sometimes when we feel that joy and bliss, we start questioning, thinking something bad's going to happen, because it feels dangerous to our nervous system, because it's not our norm. And then when we're in the intense emotions, then we feel like we're going to be stuck in them forever. So can we enjoy them for what they are and go, okay, when I'm in that spiral, it's telling me my nervous system is just dysregulated. Okay, what do I need to feel nourished? So in her case, she took a nap. It might be wrapping a blanket around you. It might be moving your body and shifting energy. It's building a relationship with your body that you're not creating meaning and stories around you being dysregulated. And it doesn't mean that you're failing. It means that your body's experiencing something. And it's how we interact with that that matters, and how we build a relationship with our body. And it takes time to build that relationship, because if you've never built that relationship and I say to you, okay, what does your body need? You probably don't know. Probably confronting. You probably go, well, I don't know what my body needs. And this is where it's this showing up for your body daily and getting to know what is a yes in the body and what is a no. So, for example, the other day I went for a sauna. I thought that was what my body needed. Went for the sauna, and when I came out and came home, I felt awful. And it depleted my body. It wasn't what my body needed. And I can go into a shame spiral of, I shouldn't have done that. That wasn't good for my body, or I could use it as feedback. Okay. And it's a muscle that you're constantly using and training and building a relationship. Just like, any relationships take time to build. It takes consistency in showing up for yourself. Hey, and this is another video, but knowing what a yes is in your body, and knowing what a no is in your body, because what your body needs every single day changes. It just does. At the moment, my body feels like it's in a bit of a winter. It is winter time here in Perth, so it needs some more cocooning and slowness. No right or wrong. I don't need to create meaning around it. It doesn't mean that I'm failing. It means my body's giving me feedback, and sometimes we'll get it wrong. So I wanted to come on today to just inspire you that when you're going into that spiral, I always say this, you're not broken, your body is dysregulated. What do I do in those moments? I tune in, what does my body need to feel safe? What does it need to feel nourished, nurtured? In the case of the client, she went and she had a nap. Usually a sleep does solve a lot, because when we're tired, life seems so much more challenging, right? So getting to know what your body needs and getting to know your nervous system and understanding what tends to be your nervous system baseline. Are you more in fight or flight? Are you more dissociated? start creating awareness around your body. What's your normal state? Now, this is what I cover in my nervous system toolkit. So this is a toolkit where you begin to learn your nervous system, what your baseline is, what your default state is in your nervous system, and learn some tools to help nourish your nervous system and to build that relationship with your nervous system. Because when you build a relationship like this with your body, it changes your life. And you don't ignore when your body is giving you feedback and signals to say, hey, I need to slow down, or hey, this is what I need. And in the long term, we feel more internal balance, and we tend to make decisions that are more aligned with our heart. And remember, this is someone that has come from burnout, who struggled to walk 5 years ago. I've had to build this relationship with my body, and it's possible for you too. So I will put the link below. I've also got a free overwhelm reset, which helps teach you a bit more about your nervous system. I hope that this has inspired you to remember, when you're in the spiral, you're not broken. And it's an opportunity to build a relationship with your body. Sending you so much love.